is an emergency, please hang up and call 911. The business office is currently closed. If you know your party's extension, please dial it now. Please listen carefully to the following options. All inspections can be scheduled. Go to our website, www.ltfp.org. For fire station personnel, press 0. To leave a voicemail for the following personnel.
Please hold while I transfer your call.
That's it. That's all we do. It's called non-emergency clause. That's what they hate you because that's the problem. They locked you up for this. And that's the point. They wanted you to do this so that you could be in trouble. So nobody. I'm crying, dear mom. Non-emergency numbers don't work. Lake Tahoe Police Department, call. You're not the one who has to say something, send Mike.
South Lake Dispatch.
Hi. I would like to say something. I have concern, and I'm putting it on record, which might be a bad idea, but I have people who do radionics and computers and different things. And I have taken poisons out of somebody who recently moved up there, and they don't want to report it, but I am sort of getting that they might be sick. And I did, and it's hard to explain because I do remote communication, and I know that actually sounds crazy, and I'm not sure, but they kind of want me to go on record with what I already previously did. And I actually emailed somebody what I did, and I don't know if they'll talk or not, and I do think they're sick, but I don't know, but I do need to go on the record with it, but it does need to be kept quiet because this person is living with somebody who I am pretty sure already remotely did stuff to somebody else to kill them. And I think they poisoned him already because I've already taken poison out of him. And so right now, I am getting the sense that he may or may not be having problems that are fairly severe. And the problem is that the people that I like to check with are sleeping. And it is maybe not, it might be too late by the time I get around to getting a hold of the people because it's only 12:30 your time and it's 3:30 in the morning. And some of the people are Midwest time and some people are East Coast time. And one of the guys I left a message for is in California, so he's in that time zone, but I don't know that he'll do it, and I don't know that he has the equipment to do it, but I asked him to check. And the thing is, he may be fixing them, and this person, I don't know if they'll talk or not, and I don't know if somebody should go to the thing for the wellness, and you can't use my name because the whole thing's insane, and I should have been there, and I couldn't get there, but this is the problem. There's many situations that it's untold, and that's the whole problem. You cannot explain it, which is why I'm supposed to be there, which is why it's hard because somebody has on purpose stolen my IDs and taken my money and done things to me here, and I can't get there, and it's not best for me to say anything because we don't know exactly how bad they are, but what if they're bad? So the problem is I don't think they're going to die in the next 3 hours or 5, but I don't know that. And I don't know how bad it is, but I'm supposed to be on the record, and they should be calling, but they don't want to call because they're a pretty big deal. Because it's their wife, and their wife, it's fraudulent marriage, and that's the whole point. We don't even want to call it a wife because how bad she is. And she already killed his son, and basically it's an 80% deal, and there was information up on the internet to back that up, and somebody took it down. And that's the problem. It's very confusing, and I don't know what else to say. So I am putting it on the record right now today. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, we ask to pray. We ask to stay, and we ask to know which way to go because we don't know. And we just wanted to thank you for everything that you do and ask you to, is there a better non-emergency number that I could call and get to you particularly with and have your name, so I have somebody's name, and which we could further the process of maybe having somebody go to the door, and where could I go to that would not make somebody so poor, but they could actually figure out how to get some different products, because they need to maybe try to drink different things, because in fact we think that they have a LifeWave machine, and that actually the LifeWave machine might have had some poison or something in it. But the problem is it's some kind of alchemy, and it's not just direct. And so the whole thing is sort of suspect and hard to explain, and I am supposed to be putting myself on the record to make myself sound crazy, because everything that I do is sort of weird, and everything they do is sort of weird, and they're on the record for some of what they do, but they have sort of an ego, and they don't really want people to know that their wife is trying to kill them. But that's what's happening and has happened in the past, and I've had to cover it, and I've had to pay for people for years and years of trying to keep this person from dying, and I've told them they're going to have to do something else, because I can't keep not putting my name out and keep paying the money and them staying there, and they didn't know. And now they're trying to figure out what to do, and now they're probably sick too, but they may or may not be sick enough to do something, and it's hard for me to know because somebody has messed with me, and I'm not the same person I used to be, but I sort of think something is wrong in integrity. And so I don't know how bad it is, and I don't know how sad it is, and it's better to do more than less, and that's the address. We don't know how to explain where he lives, and I don't have his actual address. And I don't even want to say his name, but I need to do it offline. And that's insane, because if something happens to him, then I want it on record, and I'm recording it, and that's the point. We know that you do record stuff, and so whoever is doing this knows they have to stop it at this address, because if they can hear it, then they will stop, and if they can't, they might have done it already. And that's pretty much the case, because the woman who did it, and she just does things, and she thinks she's smart, and she thinks she's it, and she thinks she's art, but she is just a witch. And he didn't know that she's a witch, because he never watches any of things. And he doesn't watch her shows, and he doesn't see what she puts on YouTube and on Facebook, because he doesn't pay attention. And I have his phone number, but you can't call it, because he can't answer it, because he can't call anyone, and he can't say anything. And the problem is he is a high-level person, and he is embarrassed. And men don't like to talk. And men who are abused don't want to talk. And she's an abusive woman, and that's why I'm supposed to have been there, but I can't get there. And so I don't know what to do, because I don't know how bad it is. And so I just want to know how to get a hold of you and your badge number for when another day, or when I can get off and pray, and I'll try to get back to you. But I don't know what to do, but this is what started, because I'm trying to not do what I'm not supposed to do. And I don't want to say too much too, because I just don't like to talk, because he doesn't like to talk, and that's the problem. His son didn't talk because, he doesn't like to talk, and it didn't help anybody, and so he knows he has to start talking. And that's the thing, he can't bring himself to talk, and so he might be too sick to talk, but he might not be too sick to talk yet. So I did tell him he needs to maybe try to vacuum, because whatever it is, there might be some evidence, and we're not sure what it is, and we wanted evidence before it gets fixed. And I don't know if my guy is fixing it or not. When I wake up, I know that he might not be feeling good still, because somehow I get some senses of that. But that's the problem. I used to be very good, and I used to know when somebody was dying and what was going on, but I can't tell anymore because I got high-level military weaponed. And maybe I should call the Navy SEALs, because that is who I usually call and talk to these things. But they don't have any authority to actually show up. And they know who he is, and they know what's up. But the problem is, you don't know, and they don't have any power because he's not a Navy SEAL anymore. And so I could call the Navy SEALs and I could put it on the record, but that's the problem. The Navy SEALs can't come because you can come, but you don't understand what he does. And so I sound crazy, but to them I don't, because I could actually feel more likely to tell them the truth. And I'm not really getting to the bottom of it because you, in fact, don't have basically the security clearance for what he does, and sort of I don't, but I do, because he had to help save my brother too. And then some things have happened to me, and in sincerity, weird things have happened to me because of him, and that's not the lie. So I don't really know what to say, because yep, he doesn't want to die, and that's the pie. It's complicated, and there's a lot of pieces to it, and there's a lot of piecings to it, and they're moving. So is there a way for me to have the Navy SEALs contact you? And the problem is I could call them, but yep, they aren't supposed to talk. But they're the wings that you don't have, and you don't have the wings, and they have the wings. And so what do we do? Because they can't sing, and only I can sing and talk. And the problem is I can't walk that good. And yes, I need a new address, and I am in Delaware, and somebody doesn't want me to have this address. And so they stole stuff from my house, and they kept me from getting what I needed to do done in multiple ways, and that's not fun. And I can't get my address fixed, and I can't get on an airplane because I can't get the star, and I can't get there, and I can't do this myself, which is why I don't know what to do, because I sincerely am asking Yeshua to help us to know what to do, because he doesn't want to talk, and that's the world. We don't want to talk, so the talks. People don't want to talk to you, the police, and the police don't really do anything. And so the problem is, if you talk, all you do is put yourself on the record, and you don't do anything anyway. So unless you go to the knocking at the door, and he may or may not tell the truth, because yep, he likes to fake it. And I don't know if my guy is actually fixing him or not, because nope, that guy doesn't ever talk, and he never says anything, because yep, he got sort of scared from working on me already. So I don't know. I have no way of understanding what's going on exactly, and that's the problem. We have a witness for other things that have happened in the past, and that's my sister, and that won't last, because if she doesn't do the right thing, then she won't talk, because she won't talk. My sister did the wrong thing, and now she doesn't talk. Yep, because people, once they do the wrong thing, then they don't want to talk, and my friend will talk, but he doesn't like to talk because he was trained not to talk, because he's high-level military. And yes, he was also BlackRock, and so that's the problem. He doesn't like to talk, and he's trained to not talk, and so I don't know if he'll talk. And the problem is, when you don't exactly know what's wrong and you're having trouble walking, you don't know if you should be talking, and that's the whole problem. We don't know. So actually, that's it. Could you please talk and tell me what your name is and how to get a hold of you in the future?
Okay. My name's Officer Robertson, and if you call the phone number you already called, you can get a hold of me that way.
Robertson? Thank you. So,
Yeah.
I don't exactly know where this person lives. I just sort of know where they live because it's new, and they live in an Airbnb. And they live on Lake Tahoe side, and they supposedly live near, there's a, I don't know, they live not that far from the lake, kind of up, and there's a street, and then they have a wood deck, and that probably describes half the houses that have the view of the lake. And that's the problem. I would be able to figure it out because that's who I am, and I physically need to go there, and that's it. We don't know exactly how to tell the address either. And I could tell them.
My question is, what can I do for you right now?
I don't know, because I am only remotely hearing him.
Right.
Okay, he is intuitive. He worked for the military. He's a remote viewer. He does different things. And
Okay. Well, I know you documented just in case anything happens, so it is documented. I just didn't know if there was anything else I can do for you.
I don't know. Your name again was what? Because I don't want to listen to my recording again.
It's Robertson.
Robertson. Okay, Robertson. You sound very nice, actually.
Thank you.
Very nice. I don't know what to do. Because, to be honest, they military weaponed my brain, and it's hard for me to think out inside, and thus I talk out loud. I can't hear it. Because I've been microwaved, and I have been radiated. And I've had to take it out of me and him, but we only have so many people, and yep, we didn't get it out at the same time, and there's something wrong with my head, and I can't think the way I used to, and I have trouble getting out of bed sometimes too, and he has trouble getting out of bed.
Well, it sounds like maybe you try to go to sleep because you're on East Coast time, right? So then maybe you wait until he wakes up in the morning, and then you call him.
I can't call him because he won't answer, because he can't answer, because he's scared of her. Because
Is there anybody else up here who could contact him for you?
No, not really.
Okay, well, I know you don't want to give us his address, and you won't.
I don't have his address. I don't have his address. It's not that I don't want to give it to you. I don't have it. I only have his phone number.
Okay, what's his phone number?
Salt's enemies. I'm going to get off and pray about it and see what I should do.
Okay, that
because
sounds good.
The problem is, I don't mind telling you, but I would want it to be kept private. Except for I still want it on the recorded line. So that's sort of a, you know, the problem is, let me explain this to you. The problem is, you're a woman, and this woman has poisoned him in the past. And the problem is, nobody wants to help him because everybody thinks, oh, a Navy SEAL, he should know. And he does know, but his head has been messed with, and he has been hurt. And I saw his eyes on YouTube, and they didn't look quite right. And the problem is, I can remotely communicate, and he did want me to call and get on the record. Because he knows part of the reason this is happening is he won't talk, but he does want to talk, because he doesn't think anyone will believe him. And because he's hurt but not hurt, and he's scared, but yep, he has a way of not talking, but he must be pretty hurt if he wants me to talk. And that's what I don't know. Because sometimes...
I agree, but like you said, maybe it's better if you get off, you try and pray and see if that helps you figure it out. And then you call us back if you need us.
Okay, I'll do that, and we'll see what I get. And how long are you going to be on?
I will be on until 5.
Okay. And the thing is, all right, thank you. I'll get off and try to see what I can do. And I woke up feeling like to call you, so I am half asleep, but that doesn't mean that what I'm saying isn't true. It just means that I integrity don't know what to do. All right.
No, I get it.
All right.
I said just try to pray about it and then let me know.
Okay, great. Thank you. But my eyesight on my left side has started going, which means there's something wrong. And that's how I can kind of tell.
If your eyesight's going, you should call paramedics that are close to you.
I can tell that there's something wrong with his sight too. And it's hard to explain because it's what I do. All right, thank you. That's not what he wanted to know. Said your eyesight is starting to go. It's sort of the weird thing that happens to me, but that's what he did. That's what happened to you when you were by the sea. It's what happens to me, unfortunately, for the last several years. That's the problem. He didn't know that he's been having trouble for the last several years. Said, kiss my ass, Tanya. It's not my goal. That was just the military. And they want you to make sure that you're on the record because, yep, you just put yourself on the record. And, yep, she kind of knows what you're talking about, but you didn't say it, and she sort of knows, and that's why she's being nice because, yep, she kind of knows him, and, yep, she knows that that woman is crazy. And, yep, she knows that you know something because, yep, you don't want to say, but, yep, she knows he wouldn't want to say. And so Michael thinks that he knows who that woman is, and she did sound very nice, and she didn't sound like she thought I was crazy. Because, yep, whoopsie-daisy, you didn't want to say anything. And you kept saying enough that she probably knows who you mean, but that's the problem. They didn't know he's back. But they might, but they don't necessarily know where he lives either. And that's the problem. Nobody knows where the hell that house is. So, What do we know? How sick are you? He's not that sick. He won't die, but he might if he doesn't get it out tonight. So kiss my ass, I'm not dying, but you're right. You needed to go down the record, and yes, she was the person that I need to talk to, said your dad. That's Michael, basically. Because you're right, your dad's the only one that will say anything, but you didn't even want to let anybody come through because, yep, you can't hear it ahead of time. And yep, I don't want to sound crazy, said Tanya. And yes, I don't want people to try to put me on the nut farm. Why? Because that's what they want to do, and that's what Michael didn't understand about you. And that's what they did. They on purpose took my brain out? Yes. So I mumble. So they try to make me look crazy, but it's not working. And that's what happened. That is what happened. And that's what Michael doesn't want to know because, yep, they tried to do that to him too. And yes, Heather did it to me. And yes, she's an idiot. And my mother didn't get me out because she thought it wasn't that big of a deal. And yes, they drugged me. And yes, they hurt my brain. And yes, I got out. But they didn't even charge me with having a mental illness. They said I couldn't take care of myself, which is so stupid. So that's it, said Michael. That's your big problem? That is. And you're right. It's stupid because all you've done is take care of yourself, said 30 years. And then Heather gets me out. And then I get out. And yep, Heather steals my car. And yep, she does all this other stuff. And yep, she gave me her car. And I went to Washington, D.C. in her car. And that's the whole problem. She didn't even really believe it because, yep, she let me take her car. Nobody said I had a mental illness. They didn't even do that in the hospital. And they screwed me over, and I can't even get the records because, nope, I've asked. And that's the whole problem. You can't even get your records? No. And so if I go public with that, then it makes me look crazy because I have problems, and that's true. But nobody thinks I'm crazy. But if I go public crazy and then you call me crazy, yep, that was the worst thing for you to do. And now he understands why it upset me so much. But he doesn't because he can't hear me because he just threw up, said nobody. Because he's really sick, Tanya, but he doesn't think it'll kill him tonight. But that's the problem. What is he supposed to do? He's supposed to call that fucking girl himself, said Tanya Walston Miller. Why? Because she would personally come pick him up? She might, said nobody, but she will figure out the right person, said Chi-Chi. Why? Because if I ask her to, she will. Why? She can't come by herself. That's probably true too, and she gets off at 5. And she is a girl and she's on the phones. You're right, she's not the person that'll show up at the door. But you're right, she sounded incredibly good. And don't you always wave at all those guys when you went by? That's what he always tells everybody, and that's what's not true, said Michael Jacob's mom. But that's the thing. It was a different police department, Tanya, and you're right. These people might know who he is just because he's famous. Good night. You're right, Michael. You've lived up there, and you have a reputation, and I might have just said enough to tickle her ears, because people like to know what's going on with famous people. And I called on my phone, and that's true, but this phone is jacked up to heaven, and that's what he doesn't want to know, because it actually is, and I didn't get everything up, and that's the problem. I fell asleep. Because why? Because I'm tired, and I don't know what to do. Because why? I made a couple phone calls, but yep, I didn't get to talk to anyone that I can actually get the information from. And Yeshua, should I call Michael's mother? No. Sounds the enemy, sounds the flesh. Do I call Linda? We don't want you to, said Stevens, because nobody wants you to call Linda in the middle of the night, said Linda. But would she want to help him if there was a real problem? She might, but you're right, Tanya. She's not Joe, and I don't want to burn her, and that's the problem. You should burn her, but you don't, because you don't want to burn her, and that's the burner. Because, yep, she's one of the only people you can get direct answers from, and that's the problem. You don't want to burn the burn, because then you don't have it, because that's the hurt. So kiss my ass, Tanya, don't call her tonight. So Michael Jaco, but you're losing your left eye faster and faster, said everybody, because, yep, there's something wrong. Said, kiss my ass, you might need to call her now, said nobody. Why? Because you don't want to talk to her. Said, kiss my ass, Michael, she might. Should I? You should, Tanya. He's getting worse, Tanya. It's not okay. You have to call Linda. Good night.
Hello, this is Genesis Total Care Ultra and Linda Nixke. If you are interested in making an appointment, please leave your name and number, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.
Linda, I was trying not to call, but I got woken up and Michael's getting freaked out, and I sort of called the police for him, and he kind of wants to go on the record, which means he must be sick, and my left eye is sort of going out. And I think he got poisoned again, and I tried to undo the contracts, and I told him to quit drinking LifeWave water, and he said he was going to drink water from the sink, and then I heard he's supposed to vacuum because the evidence might be in the air, but I don't know what to do, and I had to call in for Herb to call me in the morning. But the thing is, I sort of knew earlier, but I didn't know that he's getting sicker and sicker, and I think he's throwing up. And I did call Joe a couple hours ago, and he was sick. And that it was sort of, I don't know, I can't want to say what old Joe said, but he definitely there was something wrong. But that was hours ago, and that's the song. I don't really know what to tell you to do because, yep, they always keep messing with me in the middle of the night, and they mess with him too. But that's the problem. We think there's a problem, and that's the whole thing. I don't know what to do. So please, in sincerity, call me when you can, and please doodle if he's being poisoned because he's my man. Thank you. Okay, shit, Tanya. Why do you have to say that? Because that's what he is. So kiss my ass. It's Linda. Oh, said Michael. He didn't hear who it was, but you're right. It's just Linda. That's the whole problem. She doesn't answer her phone in the middle of the night. Said, kiss my ass. Why? Would I? You're right. She might. Good night. Now we're at, almost 4, which is like 3 hours until I can call Herb, and that's the door. And that's it. It's sort of far, but it's not. And that's what the problem is, because that's just not. Because you called the girl, but you don't know what to say, and that's the problem. You don't have enough information, and that's it. You do and you don't, and that's why you don't know what to do. Sounds the enemy with sounds of flesh. How far away is he from having whiplash? Basically something that we can't get back from. He's an hour away. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours away from that day. He's 7 hours away from not coming back. How long until he's going to die if we keep it at what he's at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours away. I don't know. It's not making sense. He doesn't need to stop. He has to do something. He can't fucking stop. He thinks he needs to do something because you're right. It's not that Mike doesn't want to talk. It's that he doesn't want to talk because he doesn't have you, but you just talked. And God damn it, Mike, can't you talk? No, because I can't admit I know you. So that's the whole problem, is I don't want to admit that I've been stalking you. But that's it. You've done it. And that's true. And I don't really care about that because you're right. All I did is try saying that I know. That I've been covering you. And that's the problem. If I try calling that stupid girl from Michigan, yep, she won't answer, and yep, she won't do anything, and yep, Lewis, I don't have his goddamn number. What about the other lady? Where is she at? We don't remember. She was in the UK, and that's not the helpful you need in the middle of the night because she can't fix me, and you don't know how to fix me in the middle of the night. Did you get any of the products I told you? No. Do you have any of that stuff? No. There's snow. That's the problem. There's snow, Tanya, and I can't get out because, right, there's hardly anywhere to go anywhere, and I can't see. You're having trouble seeing, basically. Yep, you're right. My eyes didn't look good, and you should have said something. Yep, but you couldn't because you were scared and you almost looked like you were going to cry, but then all you did is smile, and that's the problem. Fuck you, Michael. All you do is smile, and it's really hard because that was the fakest smile, and that's why you know he's bad, said Tanya. This is awful, and this is the worst. Said this is the curse because he doesn't want to say anything, and you're the hearse, Tanya, because you're the only one who understands how bad it is for him, and you don't want to go on the record because you might be wrong because all they did is try to hurt you, basically, said Tanya. And right, I didn't even feel panic, and that's partly why they do it. Yes, it is, but all they did is take out every bit of my real information that I normally have, and if I was panicked, I might know for sure, and they take it out, and that's the burn. They killed me inside, and I'm not okay, and God's saying I'm not going to be okay, but it might be just Michael, and that's all. You don't know because you're not Saul, you're Paul, and that's the problem, Tanya. You're a walk-in, but I'm not. I was the walk-in on Saul, and that's what they're not understanding. That's it. You're the walk-in to Saul, said Michael Jacob's mother. Maybe. That's the point. You're not sure. Somebody told you that, and that's the blur, said Michael Jacob's mother. He's losing it, Tanya. He had lost it a long time ago, and you didn't call anybody that could fix him because no, Larry didn't look. Because why? You're not in his book, so he didn't really want to take a look because he didn't think it was an emergency, but it is. Said, kiss my ass, Tanya. It's not an emergency. They wanted you to think it was. Said nobody. God damn it, Chi-Chi, should I call Herb in the middle of the night? You might. Said, kiss my ass, call Herb. Said, nobody. Why not? He's okay to call in the middle of the night. Why? Because he's actually my friend, and you're right. You could call him in the middle of the night, but he's 89, and that's the problem, said the Pine Woods Mental Hospital. Because that's all they've been trying to get you to do is look nuts, and you're right. You don't want to do it, but that's the problem. You know what they're trying to do to you, and he knows what they don't want to do to him, and that's it. They can't just kill him, said, kiss my ass they can, said Catherine Walston Miller. Because all they did is tell you to shut up, and that's it. Your mother did the wrong thing, and yep, she did it, and she's never going to say anything until I sue her. And Tanya has to sue her, but Tanya has too many things to do, and Tanya's too tired, and Tanya's not that well. And now you understand the problem we're going to have because, yep, it's a really, really long thing. And, yep, it's hours of nothing until we get to this. And that's the kiss, said kiss, kiss, kiss. We know that there's a call on this. And that's how this works, Michael. That's my whole phone system. It's long and awful and miserable, and I have it. And that's it. You have to hire somebody to go through everything. No, I can kind of do it by the time and the date. But that's right, you sort of have to be reminded because yes, you just did everything and all you do is fix stuff and one fucking dumb thing that you've done after another blurs into another because that goddamn fucking asshole woman is there and that's the whole thing. You don't know what to do. God damn it. And yeah, it doesn't matter I'm not wearing underwear. Why? Because it's private and yep, who cares? Said Michael, you're right. All you do is cover up. So it's like I'm wearing underwear. Because I'm wearing a smock thing, and yep, it's a stupid smock. And yes, I have a blanket. Yes, you do. And so if I came to remote you'd be fine with it. I've told you that 300 times, and that's what Michael didn't know. Because he can't remember that's the snow, said Michael. I can't remember because that's what they did to me. And every time it snows, okay, I divorce the snow. I divorce the snow, I divorce the glow. I divorce him from not knowing, and I divorce him from thinking and not knowing, and I divorce it from triggering him from not remembering who he is, and his head and his bed and everything else that's wrong with this place. Because Tracy actually knows that every time it snows, it fucks with his head, and yes, she does, and that's why they move there. And yes, we fix and fill with him being warm and cozy with a sweater and loving the sweater, even though he hates sweaters, or not loving the sweater and putting on a sweatshirt, yes, or putting on a coat, or yes, putting on a trash bag over everything to keep the wind out, or putting it underneath and get out. I have no idea why you would say put a trash bag on, said Michael Jacob's mother. because it'll help keep you warm if you go out. And that's it. You don't just stay in the house. You should stay in the house unless you are going to get in your car. And why would I get in my car? You're going to go to the closest 7-Eleven or someplace that's up there. There's nothing open at this hour, said nobody. You're right. If you just go and you get something out and you start drinking it, and yes, you start peeing it out, then you could start holding your pee, and you could have you saving your pee? He hasn't. You could save your pee. What would you save your pee in? You could pee in a bag. You're right. Get a Ziploc bag and pee in a bag, and then you need to put it in another bag so it doesn't leak at night. He didn't think of saving his pee either. Can you call? He might. Want me to look at the phone number? You could. I wish you would. The number was not that bad, and you're right. That's the problem. How are you supposed to know who to call? 530-542-6100 is the number I called, said Tanya Miller. And that's a call you don't want to make again, said Mom, because they don't really need to hear it. Said, kiss my mom when you get up, because she doesn't want to be woken up for this either. Said Mom might know. Should I call her? She'll be mad, and that's the problem. She won't be, because she'll know it's an emergency. Because, yep, you never do it. But then if I tell her it's life and death, and she won't want to do it. Yep, because she doesn't want to be responsible for it. And that's it. She doesn't like to know. When it's an actual emergency, she doesn't want to help. She will, and she won't. And that's what the problem is. So the military, you're right. If you call your mom, she would do something, but she doesn't want to. Yeah, it was a credit card and she had to clear it. Oh, God, you're right. They're understanding. Good night. He's sick. He isn't, Tanya. He is, but he isn't, and he won't die tonight. He'll die in a few hours if you don't get him help. Basically said, kiss my ass, he will, said Michael Jaco. Needs him to get some liquids that are not in this goddamn house with this horrible woman that he's been a mouse, because, yep, he did what I did with Jill, and that's not okay, because Jill isn't going to do this. But, yep, she's not great, and that's the cheesecake, because you were supposed to go out so he would know how bad he was. Why? Damn it, I asked if you really needed me to, and he told me no, and that's the problem. You should have just gone, because you sort of knew he wanted him to. But you need to say your yes needs to be yes and your no needs to be no. And that's what Chris does. If your yes is yes and your no is no, then I said I would go, but only if you... But you needed to tell me you wanted me to. And then you knew that I didn't really want to go. But I could have gone, and I said that. That's true. And that's the problem. You'll do it if you ask. That's it. That's the reason I don't want to just run around unless it's important. And if you ask and you need it, then I will do it. But that's the thing he didn't know. But I said, do you want me to go out and walk around in the hall? No. And I said, do you want me to go out and walk around? No. Because he wanted the cheesecake. Oh, that's what you weren't sure of. That's the problem. It's hard to know, people. Guys, some people make me go to the store for cheesecake. And that's the stupid reason to go, basically. And if something's an emergency, it's different. That's the problem. Everything is an emergency with some people sometimes, and they don't really know what's wrong. And that's it. So they tell me to go get a cheesecake, and then they say they don't want the cheesecake because they know I don't really want the cheesecake, and that's the problem. You're just supposed to have gone, and that's what Obama would have done. He would have gone and gotten the cheesecake because somebody might have wanted it, said Obama. But Tanya already screwed her clothes, and Tanya's already tired, and Tanya already knows that the more she runs around, then the more she isn't getting anything done, and we didn't get anything done, and that's the problem. We did and didn't, because, yep, we did try to get more things up, and that's what we did do, and that's true. And now we need to tell somebody else new, because that was not going to help Michael enough, because why? He's not sure where his address is. Why? He knows, but he can't tell me this way. But you're right. You know he lives right off of a road. And yes, the road's not that far from the lake. And that's the problem. It isn't. But you don't know what damn road that is. And that's not a big road. So you're right. She could figure it out tonight. So Do you want her to? He doesn't, because they're going to say anything he isn't. That's the problem. You're going to make me look like an ass. Why? Because you have made me look like an ass, said Tanya. And that's the problem. You have to talk. And he doesn't want to talk. And that's it. You have to talk. You have to talk. Get on live and talk. And why don't you say what's going on your show? What the hell? Why would I go on live now, said Michael Jaco. If you're sick, you can go on live and say you're sick. You have a window. And that's the problem. He didn't think of it. You could just go on and make a message to me. Yes, and I could watch it. And if this really is that bad, you could just go get on and make a goddamn show. And yes, I could just watch it. And that's what I'm saying. And that's insane, said Michelangelo, because he didn't think of that either. And he could have just gone on and made a show. And instead he didn't. And now he's dead. And he's the one who's upset in the show, Tanya. Not his dad, because he got poisoned. And that's what happened. He's the one who got poisoned. But he was not in the snow. But he's in the snow now. No, he was just not wanting to talk, because you're right, Tanya. You're just going to run it out, and then you'll figure out if this is good or bad, because you're right. You already know something's wrong with him, but he's not going to say anything because he's him, and that's the problem, said Michelangelo. What is he supposed to do when his dad won't talk? And what is he supposed to do when that's the way he was trained too? And that's the problem. Men don't talk, and that's what's wrong. That woman knows that too. How do you tell somebody you're in my body? He is. What do you want me to do? He already got me to call, but that's not enough. He knows it's not. And I called the other guy, and nope, I didn't. He gets woken up in the middle of the night by his neighbor, and that's what Michael didn't know. And that's why the guy is upset, right? Because he gets woken up every night in the middle of the night by his neighbor. He does. No. His neighbor could be one of us. Said, kiss my ass. He is, Tanya. Michelangelo already knows that, but that's the problem. All they do is screw with him because, yep, they move next door. And yep, they know he's somebody big because they already moved somebody next door to him to make